Welcome to today's Explainer. We're diving straight into a tool that literally bridges the gap between complex hardware and artificial intelligence. If you've ever looked at a robotics project and thought, man, I'd love to build that, but I have absolutely zero idea where to start with the code, well, you're in exactly the right place. Today, we're unpacking AIRobo Studio.
Let's kick things off with a pain we all know way too well. You get this brilliant idea for an AI robotics project, right? Maybe a robot that responds to your voice or a camera tracking your hand movements. But then you sit down at your computer, and the sheer complexity of the syntax, figuring out library installations, wrestling with environment setup, it just makes you want to throw your laptop straight out the window before you've even managed to blink a single LED.
Think about the massive friction of traditional coding, especially if you're an educator trying to squeeze a lesson into a 45-minute class, or just a maker who wants to prototype something fast. Traditional development is totally plagued by complex syntax and endless, agonizing uploading cycles. But compare that to the ideal setup: instant feedback, visual logic, and just plug-and-play magic.
So here's our roadmap for today's Explainer. First, the coding struggle. Then we'll meet AIRobo Studio, look at the AI Superpowers unlocked, figure out how to handle hardware without the headache, and finally, choose your workspace.
All right, let's jump right into Section 1, the coding struggle. Why exactly has this been such a nightmare?
If you've ever actually tried to connect complex AI models, like, say, voice recognition, to a microcontroller, you already know it usually means hours of painful debugging instead of actually creating anything. In the past, trying to run something heavy like offline voice processing in a visual editor often resulted in C++ WebAssembly deadlocks. Basically, the system gets so overwhelmed it just completely freezes on you. So you end up fighting with syntax errors, wrestling with COM-port driver setups, and sitting through endless compile and upload times, all just to see if your motor turns right instead of left. It literally kills your creative momentum.
Moving on to Section 2. Meet AIRobo Studio. This is where we finally get some real relief from all that friction. AIRobo Studio completely transforms that messy, complex coding environment into a super intuitive visual workspace. It basically takes the familiar, friendly, block-based face of Scratch 3.0, which, millions of people already use, and injects it with these premium, advanced AI and robotics superpowers. So you get the standard free Scratch editor, but with modular keys that actually unlock localized machine learning and really advanced hardware control.
Okay, Section 3, AI Superpowers unlocked. Let's see how this works with absolutely no complex code required.
Setting up an AI is now quite literally as easy as snapping puzzle pieces together. To integrate a large language model, you just snap in a block that says Set AI Provider to Groq and paste in your API key. That's it. You can assign a persona, like friendly friend or scientist, just by clicking a dropdown. Need text-to-speech? There is a block that straight up says Speak hello using voice female. It takes something that usually requires all this complex API routing and turns it into child's play.
But it goes way beyond just chat, right? These visual blocks give your sprites and physical robots instant computer vision. You get face detection that tracks your expressions like happy or surprised, plus the exact pitch, yaw, and roll of your head. You get hand detection that instantly recognizes all 21-finger landmarks, so it knows the difference between an open palm and a closed fist. There's pose detection for full-body tracking, and of course that AI chat powered by Groq's ridiculously fast Llama 3.1 model.
Now, a massive breakthrough here is the incredibly robust offline architecture for voice recognition. Remember those system crashes we talked about earlier? AIRobo Studio solves this by running completely offline. It processes this massive rolling buffer of audio samples without freezing your project, which means your robot actually responds instantly and reliably. And since it runs asynchronously, checking for commands like up or stop every 10 frames, it keeps the whole user interface perfectly smooth.
Which brings us to Section 4, hardware without the headache. Let's connect all this to the real world.
When you're dealing with a really powerful microcontroller like the ESP32S3, instead of writing lines and lines of complex Arduino code, you get these beautiful visual blocks for literally everything. Need to connect to the internet? Just snap in the Connect to Wi-Fi block. Want to read a temperature sensor or get roll and pitch angles from an MPU 6050 motion sensor? It's just a block. Driving a motor? Set your pins, pick a direction, set your speed. It totally democratizes hardware engineering.
And this is the absolute game changer, the ultimate technical painkiller of AIRobo Studio. You actually have two modes of operation. Live mode lets you test your physical hardware in real time. Your code runs right on your computer and talks to the board instantly. No waiting to upload, no friction. You change a block, the motor spins differently that exact second. Then, when your project is perfect, you switch over to upload mode. The software automatically converts your visual blocks into C++ and permanently flashes it to the hardware's memory. Now it runs autonomously, completely untethered from your computer.
Finally, Section 5. Choose your workspace. Let's talk about the super accessible pricing.
The pricing model here is incredibly flexible. If you just want a standard offline Scratch 3.0 editor, the base Windows app is completely, forever free. No catch. If you only need a specific feature like the hand detection AI, you can buy it a la carte starting at just $9.99. But the best value, hands down, is the Pro Maker bundle. For a one-time, yes, lifetime payment of $49.99, you get all 5 current AI and hardware extensions, that crucial live mode feature, and free access to all future extensions. No subscriptions anywhere. And getting set up is an absolute breeze. Step 1, you download the free Windows app from their site. Step 2, you securely purchase your extension keys or the bundle via Stripe. And Step 3, you get an activation key instantly in your email. You just paste that key straight into AIRobo Studio, and boom, those extra block panels unlock instantly, and you're ready to go.
So, with all that friction of coding completely removed, and the sheer power of AI and computer vision literally at your fingertips, it leaves us with one final exciting question. What incredible project are you going to build first? Whether it's a robot that tracks your face, a smart home device you can actually chat with, or a game controlled entirely by your voice, the barrier to entry has never been lower. Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and hey, happy building!